What's up, eyes from the bench? I've had a little bit of a hiatus since the World Cup, but we're back with Only Ben's
Little.
Football. Make sure to check out his page. We got some cool TikToks coming out. Um, some cool
Stay tuned.
stuff. Yep, some cool stuff to look forward to. Today we're going to be doing our Streets Haven't Forgotten team, Serie A version. These are players that could still be playing today, could have gone to random leagues, could be playing in China for all we know. Um, but players that had enough magic to steal the hearts of the fans. Not necessarily the hearts of the owners of the teams, but definitely and captured the attention of the fans for their short moments. So I'm gonna go first here, and I know I'm a Roma fanboy. However, I'm gonna have to start with El Faraone, El Sharawi, El Shah, just producer of magic. Um, he's not quite the wonder kid that Milan signed, but I will say, uh, he deserves better. He definitely deserves better. He pulls magic out every once in a while. That first goal for Roma, he scored some sideways back heel into the net, and that's when we knew like he was gonna be something special, something maybe not a consistently starter, but definitely something. I think he deserves his respect. What do you guys think?
In
You know,
addition, yeah. Go.
hey, I'm gonna go ahead. Like when you're talking about streets won't forget players, style is like such an important factor because it's something that's gonna remember the player by.
Uh
Top
huh.
three Mohawks in football history,
Dude, that
bro.
thing's nice,
That's what I
man.
was
Come
gonna
on,
say.
next to Neymar, bro.
And I gotta say that the red and black stripes of the Milan jersey just
It's something beautiful.
something nice, something about the mohawk and the red and black stripes.
They
Stripes. It was
compliment.
yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know if I'm the only one that sees it, but I'm pretty. I think it looked good. I think he knew what he was doing.
I think red and black just looks good on everyone except for red and orange, but that's one thing. But as Sharawi, he looked pretty good in the Milan jersey
I
when he
don't
was
know.
playing.
2 and 5 doesn't look
Skills were
good.
looking good. His
Two
shots were looking good.
two to
He
five
was
Remember
doesn't look
when?
good in red and black.
he
I
was in
remember when.
form. I don't know. I can't remember if Milan sold him or he sold out. I think Milan sold him.
I'm pretty sure Milan sold him. He just wasn't producing,
He
like
wasn't playing. He wasn't playing.
yeah, he wasn't producing the level of wonder kid that they get that you think of. You know what I
That
mean?
they wanted. That
Yeah.
they wanted.
Still, he was a great player throughout his career. I think that guy has one of the best curves in football
I
and his
think
shot.
I think
Nasty.
oh for sure. I remember this one. I can't remember what year. 2018 maybe. Uh, Buffon was still the starting keeper for Juventus, and
Oh,
El Shaarawy cut inside the box and he had this curler and it kept Buffon. It was on the ground and Buffon stood still. He just
couldn't
watched the
even.
ball roll right past him, around him, and then off the post into the net. To this day I remember that goal, and Roma ended up winning that game 2-1. Huge game. It's just memories of El Shaarawy doing just producing magic.
I like what Rigo said about the style because I remember back in the day. Ari, you probably remember this when I had that mohawk and I felt like I was fucking El Sharawi
You thought you were
back
El
in middle
Shaarawy.
back in middle school. I think it was sixth grade. I had that mohawk and somebody was like, "Why do you have that haircut?" And I
You don't
said,
know.
"You
If you know,
I
you
never
know.
understand."
No, no, you don't know ball.
You don't know
Yeah.
ball. You don't know ball.
Um,
So my number two pick, and if we're talking about Mohawks, so I'll keep the trend going with Mohawks.
Way.
I know who's going with.
I know, me too. He's on my wall, isn't he?
Il Ninja, Nine Golan,
That's what I thought.
Oh.
Nine Golan. He had a tight Mohawk, but apart
Yes.
apart from that, he was just he was just a rock. Like he
He was a
was.
beast.
Oh my gosh, defense, attack, all of
Yeah.
it.
And he had a rocket on his foot. He had a
Oh
rocket.
oh my gosh,
I think
Mamma Mia. He
2016. This
had
guy was the best midfielder in the Serie A.
he had the launch codes. He had the nuclear launch codes on his right foot. Like he was something else. I remember it was Roma versus Inter, and this is maybe his best game ever. And he had two just absolute rockets past Handanovic, just curlers with pace and precision. Oh my! And I remember just that big smile he gets on his like he had on his face after scoring those two goals. Like I said, just the same thing with El Shaarawy, just memories of just excellence.
Going back to style,
Excellence.
it's just his tattoos
Special
that
player.
even come up all the way to
Yeah,
his neck and down to his fingertips.
his
It's like
tattoos and his
he
hair.
just
It,
pre- He presses the
looked
red button every time when he's outside of that box, and it was his shots always came from outside of the box. It was like, holy crap, I want to do this
Uh-huh.
on the daily. Yeah,
And you
just
couldn't give
practice
him
it.
space. You couldn't give him space within 40 yards of the goal because he's gonna
Yeah,
take it, and then
you
you
take
know
a
what?
rip.
He might score it. So
Yeah,
I would be careful with Nangolan.
This guy was such a menace and so strong. I feel like the Roma prison released him every weekend so he can just play a game and kick some legs and
Oh
score
my
some
gosh,
bangers.
him matched
Looks
with
like a delinquent.
yeah, him up next to Pjanic and De Rossi was just such a
oh,
nice
yeah,
trifecta. But like
manage.
De Rossi was like so like defensive minded and Pjanic was so attacking minded, but Nangolan was like the perfect mix of
In
just both of
between.
those. Oh my gosh, it just gives me goosebumps just thinking about just the rocket that he had and just man, strength, just pure class. I say
Yeah.
Nangolan, always staying out of trouble, just consistent play. Um, and then for my third, Streets won't forget. Before my two honorable mentions, these last three options they're hard to pick from, but I'm gonna have to branch out a little bit. And I'm gonna go with Gonzalo Higuain,
Oh,
but not
FIFA.
but not even Gonzalo Higuain for Juventus.
Napoli.
Gonzalo
Napoli.
Higuain for Napoli.
Yeah,
Streets don't forget Napoli Higuain. And
everyone loves it.
that's a good example of he deserved better because Napoli wasn't always didn't could never catch traction back then, and Juventus scooped him up for a reason, and he continued to perform at Juventus. But man, Napoli Higuain, like he was, I'd say he was in his prime. I'd say he started to get a little bit older and decline
Yeah,
slowly once he hit Juventus. But man, that
Of course.
the season right before they sold him to Juventus, wow, Higuain
He was scoring 40 goals a season with ease at Napoli.
easily, and he was never the fastest player. He's got a bigger
Super
body type.
critical.
Just
Unlucky player because if things would have went different for him in Argentina national team,
he
he
would
could have
have
been
a
a
World
legend.
Cup.
You know, he
hmm
could have been a legend, but still, he's a good player.
Now
He's
he's
a great
over.
player.
Now he's over on South Beach,
yeah,
drinking
chilling out in
He's
Miami.
retired
drinking
now.
mojitos and
It's
living the
he
He's
life.
still
handling the head now.
he still has 16 goals in 29 matches this in 2022 at
I,
Miami.
s- I saw a couple games of him in Miami, and I remember he scored one crazy free kick. Like he still got it.
Yeah, he still got it.
Still
Yeah,
got
His
it.
and
brother,
that's why the streets don't forget because he's still got
his,
it.
his brother just retired from Miami too, didn't he?
Or, no, I think it was his.
I think both of them retired. I know that. I don't
Got
know if
it.
his brother retired, but Higuain definitely retired. Starting this season.
hmm
Yeah, Higuain. And
Yeah,
so my two honorable mentions gonna have to be Luca Toni.
Luka Toni.
The streets don't forget. The streets don't forget. Um, just
What a striker.
just had the height. He had the pay. Like he was pretty agile for his height. And I mean,
What is this?
maybe
What's
this
all
isn't so much Serie A, but he looked good. He looked good in purple. I gotta say, Luca Toni looked good in purple.
oh,
Um,
in Fiorentina?
yeah, he looked good in purple. And
Looked good at Bayern too.
correct, but
I'm
we're
sure
gonna keep it Serie A. But
at some point of their careers, him and Totti were like the oldest like strikers in Serie A, and they were just banging goals still, bro.
Oh, by the way, Totti's not on this list because Totti's the streets.
Club legend.
Yeah, just he doesn't even apply to this. He's in a different tier. Okay.
Street, country, world.
Yeah, the world doesn't forget Francesco. Let me make that clear. The world doesn't forget Francesco. So, but yeah, Luca Toni, honorable mention. But problem is that I remember more for his 2006
Yeah,
international stuff. So that's why he stayed honorable mention as far as the Serie A side goes. And for my second honorable mention, and he should have made the top three. It was just really hard to pick because of his position. But Chiellini,
Oh,
the
I
streets,
think
the streets don't forget Chiellini. He's at LAFC, so maybe it was a little bit easier to forget. I haven't forgotten. The streets haven't forgotten. Giorgio Chiellini, man, the look he bit me. Like Suarez,
uh,
he was such a good defender that Suarez had to taste him to see how good he was. That's how good of a defender Chiellini was. Man, just the Great Wall of Italy. Him and Bonucci side by side.
So
And Bonucci's a little bit younger, but I believe, right? Bonucci's younger than Chiellini. I think Chiellini just looks Chiellini
Couple
just
years.
looks old in general. Chiellini has looked old for as long as I've been alive. I just gotta say, but
I think
no, Chiellini, man, just if we were
he's the
picking
greatest
if
Italian defender.
if we were playing five aside, if we were picking our five aside 5 6 years ago, Chiellini would have been the biggest
Defender.
First pick.
the first pick as defender. Like holy crap, Chiellini, you just couldn't get past him in his positioning. So even if he's not the fastest player, he just had the positioning to make sure he wasn't gonna get lost at the track meet.
Even now, he's still pretty good. He scored a goal for LA.
Really
Yeah, he
Had to be a
did.
header, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be.
him
But
and
still.
he's got that he also looks. I mean, Franco, you can back me up on this one. He looks very Italian, Chiellini.
He looks too
He looks like
Italian.
He
a
look-
gang member, bro.
he
A
looks
That
too-
nose
mafioso.
and it's that I don't know, that demeanor he
the
has.
forehead, just
And every time he's scrapping with the ref, no, like no.
But I've seen this guy in a couple interviews, and he looks like a real nice dude. Not gonna lie.
oh,
Oh,
for
for
sure.
sure.
But you just don't want to line up against him because that
No,
all
no.
gets thrown out the window. But yeah,
know-
streets do not forget.
You know how you were mentioning that streets won't forget Chiellini and Bonucci? Unfortunately, I think there's someone that the streets have forgotten, Andrea Barzagli. He was also part of that
That's right.
part of the defensive pivot for Juventus for a lot of those years, even when Bonucci went to Milan for a bit. Unfortunate that he's not remembered as a good defender because he definitely was.
Listen, to be fair, it's hard. It's hard when you're playing next to Bonucci
Chiellini.
and Chiellini.
The two
And
best
in front of
defenders in the past 10 years.
yeah, like it's. I feel like a lot of those Juventus players in the 2010 era that are
Oh, yeah.
midfield backfield get forgotten.
Marquisio.
I wouldn't say
Marquisio.
Marquisio. I wouldn't say Marquisio because he's in a league of his own. He.
He was
The
a good
auto
player.
league.
Oh, I could
for-
talk on and on about Marquisio, but as far as the defensive standpoint goes, like, especially because of Marquisio, Barzagli gets overlooked because you got Bonucci, Chiellini, and Buffon in defense, and Marquisio coming back to help on both sides, box to box. So that's a good point you're making.
Trying to think who else was on that 2010 side.
Who wants to give their picks next?
I'll give
Oh,
mine.
you want? Yeah.
You're mentioning Nangolan with a power rocket of a shot.
Yeah,
It reminded me straight of Wesley Schneider. Even though he was,
Schneider,
a
the
tier
sniper.
above other players, this guy
Yeah.
was fucking pivotal for
Schneider,
Inter Milan,
the
Champions
sniper.
League. Pivotal for Netherlands 2010 World Cup,
Mhm.
2014 World Cup. He was one of the best midfielders at the time. Sitting a little bit below the strikers, this guy could shoot it from anywhere. I know it's going in.
It's a good pick. It's a
It
good
is a
pick.
good pick.
Ready for another one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All right. I don't support him now at all, but back in the day, Robinho, my favorite player ever. I'm not gonna talk
Yeah.
about what happened with him now and currently, but this guy walked so Neymar could run. Neymar said that this guy was his idol, and dude, the most skillful player alongside Ronaldinho that I've seen in my life. My favorite player growing up. Not gonna lie, this guy could do anything he wanted to with the ball, and didn't seem like he cared at all.
Solid pick.
that's a really good pick.
I like that one.
I liked Robinho. I used to watch a lot of his highlights too. He's the one that started the step overs and all that. He really did that.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty
There's
good.
videos of him in Real Madrid just step over, just not stopping until he wanted to.
I watched him play with Ibra on Milan. That was
Uh-huh.
good.
Milan.
That was nuts.
His best days weren't in the Serie A, but
Yeah.
still a great player. In
All
his
right.
time.
Who's your
Well,
third?
And unfortunately, I added some players that weren't from Serie A. Didn't really get the memo. I did add Marquisio there,
Okay.
but we already kind of talked about him. I don't know if you guys would be down to hear some non-Serie A players.
I'll take one non-Serie A and then another one for your honorable mentions. How about that?
Okay, yeah. My last, the streets won't forget, Hulk. This guy was
Oh,
an Avenger.
yeah.
This guy broke the net on a
That yeah,
goal.
that edit. That's one of my favorite
There's edits
edits.
of this guy just breaking the ball as soon as he's shooting it, shoots it into the goalie. The goalie just can't help and just goes all the way back.
I think
This guy was special, and he's still balling out today in Brazil.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's got a title or something for Atletico Mineiro. I don't know which title or if he won a Libertadores. I don't think so, but he's still doing great. And this guy's always been top of his level, but never in a big team. He was playing for Zenit a lot of the time, and sometimes the Brazilian national team. But I think that was a really good player that the streets just won't forget.
Oh, and
It was a different breed.
I gotta agree. And I just want to say, apart from the fact that his name is just so memorable, because like Hulk, he also played up to that level of attention.
that-
You know what I mean? He wasn't just famous because of the name. It was like the name just so happened to be super memorable, and he was a great
Dude,
player.
have you seen
Is a
videos of
great
this
player.
guy doing like leg workouts? He's like strapped into a chair and with all his strength just lifting up his legs. This is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't look like a footballer, bro.
You've seen those videos of him that he shoots the ball and the goalie catches it or it breaks through the fucking net. and it
Yeah.
just rips.
Yeah,
Goalie hits the wall, bro.
I
Or the
remember.
ball explodes as soon as he shoots it.
I think
The guy had missed.
those came out when we were in like middle school or something. And
Yeah.
some kid showed it to me, and he was like, "Oh my god, look at this!" And I knew it was edited, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever because you know what I mean.
Right.
Like
Pretty cool.
just
This guy was mythical, bro.
Yeah.
This guy was mythical.
Mhm.
who's
And
your honorable mention?
non-Serie A. Although I don't think the streets will never forget him. But I think he'll be remembered by a lot of people because he was the Premier League top scorer and helped Leicester win the league. Jamie Vardy.
Oh,
Jamie
hey, listen,
Vardy.
I just gotta say, Jamie Vardy single-handedly had every single
Oh, God.
kid on the football pitch, like on weekends, trying to do that in between the legs, back heel, cross goal. You know what I'm talking about?
think
The
so,
cross was
bro.
coming in from the side, and
Heel?
instead of you
I
know
see
what I'm
you're saying,
talking about, he let it run
I
through
remember.
I gotta re-see it.
mid-air. He let the ball go in between his legs, and then brings his right heel to hit it across
Yes.
and to go.
Oh my
He had
God.
me practicing that for hours, and I couldn't hit it clean once. Like
I remember
that
that.
magical
That's
season where he won. I love his story too. I talk about his story
Yeah.
all the time to people that are not really football fans.
He was a pro. Began to be a pro at 24 or something.
Well, he was a high school janitor, is what I'm saying.
Oof.
So
Yeah.
he when he first signed for Leicester, he was working as a high school janitor to during the day, and then going to practice at night for
Oh my
Leicester
God.
City. And then
Wow.
I think it was like 2 or 3 years later, Leicester wins the league. So just an
Wow.
amazing story. Streets won't forget that year.
And unfortunately, because he didn't get a move to a bigger club like Conte and Mahrez did, maybe he's not getting remembered as much as they are because they're still, in those big teams now. Conte won the Champions League.
I think
Mahrez
he
won I
stayed-
don't know how many Premier Leagues.
I'm sure he had I can't remember too well. I'm sure he had the options to go, but I
He
think
probably wanted to stay.
but I think he wanted to stay.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
I think he wanted
dude,
to
He
this
has
stay.
the heart.
guy
He
when
has
he
the heart
broke
to go.
when he broke the record for most consecutive goals in the Premier League, I remember he was going against Everton. With the day he broke it,
Mm-hmm.
Lukaku looked like a wimp next to him, bro.
Listen, man, I gotta agree. That's it. That's a great pick, Jamie Vardy. Streets won't forget Jamie Vardy. Streets won't forget that Leicester team. What year was it?
Yeah.
2016.
That season was
2015,
just
16?
insane.
Oh
Around
my!
there.
Just the fact that Leicester
They didn't
City
even lose. They were unbeaten.
in the Premier League, like that's something. That's something. So I gotta give credit where credit's due. That's a great pick.
Biggest sports upset in history.
That's a great pick. Wasn't there somebody that bet that there was a story about somebody that
Just
had
for the jokes, probably like
Yeah,
$10 or
they
something.
had bet on Leicester winning the league, and they ended up with a lot of freaking money. I mean, obviously, if for that's like me betting on Bournemouth winning the league. No disrespect to any Bournemouth fans out there, but like,
Not
listen,
happening.
listen, we're talking because we know ball, and we just gotta
Being
admit,
practical.
we're just being practical. We're football fans, not football idiots. So okay, I'll pick a different team for you Bournemouth fans. Like, let's say Watford winning the league out of nowhere. And Aston Villa, Watford, like any of those
Okay.
teams, just pick a random not top 10 team currently, and just be like, all right, here's $100 that they're gonna win the league before the
thing
season
is-
starts. You're gonna make money.
The league before Leicester won it, they were almost in the relegation zone. I think they were probably 16 to 17, 15 to 17 in the table, and from one year to the next, just without new owners, without a lot of investments, they were just able to do it, to do the unthinkable.
And
For sure.
Claudio Ranieri.
And then
Cool.
they brought in Andrea Bocelli to sing at the
Yeah,
stadium after they won.
that was beautiful. All of them with their white and blue flag. It's that Jamie Vardy has the hearts of those people. Like that.
Oh
That's
yeah.
Oh,
like
for sure.
that's what determines whether or not the streets will forget. You know, if that's why I'm thinking Conte and not sellouts, but people that go to these bigger teams. You
They
know,
find immediate success, like instant success,
immediate
not
success.
overtime because I couldn't have told you Conte's name before. I didn't know Conte before he won the league, but
Yeah.
they find instant success and then leave. I remember
It,
actually feeling bad in the off season hearing about all these Leicester moves
I
because
know.
it was like you
Hmm.
just won the league. How long have you been
Just
working
one.
for this
And
and
they were in the Champions League too.
now you're
Yeah.
leaving? So
Yeah.
no
Yes.
disrespect. I mean, listen, you gotta make ends meet. You gotta sign those
Yeah.
big contracts, but
Sure.
take a page out of Toti's book every once in a while, maybe. You know what I mean?
That's one of the only players that's a one club, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maldini, I think not.
De Rossi, but that's another Roma player.
Ah, Boca Juniors, De Rossi, come on.
I'm talking about number 16. Talking about number 16, De Rossi.
Number 16, De Rossi.
So,
All
all
right,
right, you're up, Franco.
I'm up. So we're doing what was it, the first ones? Oh, okay. So for my first pick, the streets will never forget the amazing uh goal scorer all around, just everything that he's scored goals that I don't think anyone has. No, people have done, but it's gonna be Mario Balotelli. Just
Super Mario.
Super
Mario,
Mario.
and aside from all of the things that people hate about, how he is in a team situation, always having problems with the management and other players and
Why
stuff like
always
that.
me? Why always me?
Why always me? Things like that are the reasons why people remember him. His celebrations, especially against Germany that one time, he invented the C, sort of. But I
I
actually
mean,
watched that today. That was pretty
what's the
fantastic.
hardest thing to do after you score a goal? This guy would take off his shirt, show off his muscles, and not move a single centimeter, bro.
Just put all of the tape on his
Intimidating.
spine.
And in the highlights of that game, you see the stadium shaking from the crowd and
Yeah,
all that, and the camera shaking and all that. But he's just
he's just standing
he's
strong.
taking in the
Like,
moment,
how he does.
just really just
Yes,
Oh yeah.
putting it all out there.
he's had his fair share of hairstyles as well. I remember that.
Hmm
It wasn't always just a skinny mohawk like that one. It was pretty thick at some points, but
I have two things to say about Mario, Super Mario. One of them, I don't know if you guys saw like the goal that he scored. It was either in Serie B or the Turkish league. I was on Instagram. This dude did 1,000 step overs, then Rabona bottom corner. Insane player. And the other thing I gotta say is an anecdote. When I went to Italy in 2012, and I was insane Balotelli fan. That's the only thing I knew about Balotelli. I loved Balotelli.
hmm
My favorite player. Didn't know too much football, but I rode with my ride or dies.
hmm
So we're in Italy, and I think we're in the check-in of the hotel somewhere middle Italy around Roma, and I talked to the guy. I was talking football because we're from Argentina, and I was like, "Oh, Mario Balotelli, the best player in the world," and he was like, "Balotelli, vaffanculo, Messi, Lionel Messi." He was telling me Messi, and I was like, "No, Balotelli's better, bro." That's how much he meant to me, Balotelli.
I love that guy. I mean, watching him sitting on the couch, watching him score those goals against Germany, I think those were his defining moments. To be honest,
yeah,
because of the
I,
success, I'd hate to define him by his like the bad parts. You know what I
he
mean?
always too. Like he just always got hate. There was always a camera in his face.
But
It's
I
like
want to
Yeah.
say for every bit of hate he received,
it was. Yeah,
there was moments of greatness. Like
I think
it was
that's
50-50, and the problem is that he didn't have more moments of greatness than moments of just poor moments, and that's why he's in the position where he is today. But man, if he could just
Say
get his
great,
attitude together,
yeah, great player, bad attitude.
he was
Great player, bad
he's
attitude.
Unfortunately.
he scored a goal
Yeah.
for Italy and went and celebrated with his mom in the stands. Remember that? I don't know if you
Beautiful.
remember that.
Yes, I remember that.
And then
It's
same thing with Florenzi. Well, Florenzi did it in a Roma uniform. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure Balotelli did it scoring for Italy. But man, what a guy!
No, Balotelli took my heart all throughout playing with Milan. That was just, he was that guy. And he stuck it out for a little while too. He was that guy,
He looked
and he
good in
could.
black and red too, by the way.
He
Oh
looked
yeah.
good in black
He
and
looked
red.
good in the Inter colors too, bro. This guy looked
And
good
the
anywhere.
Inter. Oh, that's right. He moved a bunch of places. He did.
Bro, but he has some unmentioned moments, like some great moments. Like he gave Aguero the pass for him to win the Premier League in the Aguero goal.
Wait! I
The
just want to
most
say,
famous commentary.
I want to say, and I don't remember which podcast. It was a TikTok clip that I saw this, and it really got me thinking because I've watched Balotelli for so long. So shout out to the podcast if anybody's listening and they can cite this. These they they were bantering around and they were saying, you know what? I think that if Balotelli didn't slip, he would have tried to shoot the ball himself. And it was an accident that he passed it to Aguero. I think I can agree with it, but I mean, still,
Probably.
he's got
Knowing this guy's attitude.
he's got the assist on the score sheet, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Who's your second pick?
My second pick is, oh my god, I have so many, but I think this one's better. Manchester City, man.
You can't pick
Or
Balotelli twice.
no, it's not Balotelli. Same year though. They played together.
Oh, I know who
Very
this is.
clinical, very clinical midfielder. He
Oh,
always was on the ball. He was a great number 10. I'm gonna have to go David Silva.
oh,
Ooh.
I thought you were going
Little,
somewhere else with that.
little bit of
My
a club legend,
option.
but
Yeah,
underrated. Underrated across
underrated.
the football community.
I don't think he's underrated. I'm
No,
gonna
I
s-
think he's underrated.
There's both sides
I'm
to
gonna
it.
say he's definitely gotten his respect. I have never heard anybody speak poorly of David Silva. I've heard people speak poorly of Balotelli, obviously, but and picks like El Shaarawy, and
Mhm.
but I don't know, man. I think David Silva gets the respect. I mean,
He
I
does. He
respect
played
it. I'm
for
not arguing
decent.
about that.
I think he could. I think if, like, he sort of had this attachment with Manchester City too, because after that he went to Espanyol, no?
Yeah.
So I think if he had probably left to some big club, maybe 2 or 3 years after they won that league that year, he
Hmm.
probably could have grown into something a little bit bigger. But still, I think it was between him and Samir Nasri, both of them. They were
What about
both,
Nasri?
him
Yeah.
too. They were both crazy good players that they were just an asset to each other. They were an asset to the team, and if you didn't start one, you could start the other one. They were balls deep in that team.
Have you guys seen Nasri recently?
No, where
He's
does he
at
play at?
Anderlecht.
He's looking a little thickums, bro.
A
His
little.
shirt isn't
Hey,
fitting him, bro.
listen, man.
His shirt isn't fitting
If
him
I was
well.
making that money, I'd probably look a little thick too. But
Yeah.
who we
All right.
got?
We got
Well,
Nasri's time in City, bro. He was good for them.
it was good. And then for Arsenal too, but whatever. So then for my number 3, I've got Fernando Torres.
Ooh, yeah, solid.
El
I
Nino.
always thought he was my favorite player for Chelsea. Always, I loved watching him, and I
Listen,
didn't think he got enough playing time throughout his entire career. Even not through his entire career at Chelsea. He won that one Champions League 2012,
uh-huh.
but he was a beast in Liverpool. He was a beast at Chelsea, and every time he played, he was
I
influential,
just
and he
gotta
was
Beast
say,
at Atletico Madrid.
Fernando
and
Torres. Listen, the streets of Madrid haven't forgotten. The streets of England haven't forgotten, and the streets
yeah,
of Italy haven't forgotten. So I just
yeah,
gotta,
he's
yeah,
all over
that's a
the
great pick.
place.
Yeah, everywhere he went, just a memorable
Everywhere
player.
he went. But it's a shame. I mean, he only won one. Was he a part of the Spain 2010
Part of
team?
2010
I'm pretty
Spain, but I
sure he
think
was.
David Villa was a bit on top of him at the time.
Yeah, David Villa, yeah.
But I remember
And
Fernando
yeah,
Torres having a great tournament. I don't know if it was 2010 World Cup,
Might have been the
2014
Euros.
maybe, or one of the Euros that they won.
I'm pretty sure it's the Euros where they kicked our ass. They kicked Italy's ass. Who's your honorable mention, Franco?
my honorable mention is going to be Podolski.
Lukasz?
Lukas
Lucas.
Podolski. I thought he was pretty good. I always liked the way he played. He was strong, sturdy, and he
Doesn't he have
was
his own song? Didn't the
Lu
fans?
Lu Lu.
Lukas
Lucas
Podolski.
Podolski.
Yeah, there we go.
He was a baller, bro. You know, if you have a song after you, you're a baller, bro.
Oh,
he
for
was a
sure.
baller. I thought he was pretty good. I liked, and even in Germany on the national team, he played good. And then where was he at? Galatasaray, I think it was.
He
Uh-huh.
I mean,
has, if I'm not
ended up in Turkey.
mistaken, like goal scoring records for Germany of some sorts.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's a good player, bro. Good finisher.
Wait, it
Fuck.
might be Klose. It might be Klose
I know
that has
Klose World Cups. But I think there's some fact about Lucas Podolski I'm missing.
maybe oldest scorer, or it's not top scorer because Klose is top scorer, I'm pretty sure.
Got you.
You're right, though. There is a record out there.
Arsenal. I mean,
No, for Germany,
Oh.
we're saying.
oh, for Germany,
Nah, I don't know about most assists. Something notable.
he's got one assist in 2014
Oh,
Euros, but
yeah.
he had 3 goals in 2006.
This is your first honorable mentions, right?
Yeah, that was my first one. And then for my second one, now he's playing at Grêmio, but
Oh shit, with Luis Suarez.
I think Luis Suarez is a player that from Liverpool that nobody will forget. That Liverpool Suarez
He
and
aged
that
like a fine wine.
I mean him with MSN and Barca and all that, he played really really well. He was a
That
great like
striker of that time, bro.
yeah, but even in the Premier League, I think and then with all of the stuff that he's done, when you mentioned Chiellini, I was like, oh my god, I'm glad you didn't say Suarez because he bites people. Like no one's gonna forget that.
He did it
So
so many times too. Like, oh my,
I know, like you
like
could get away
don't
with
you think
one,
once?
maybe.
Don't you think once is enough?
Three.
But he did
Yeah.
it so many times on such big
Maybe he did
stages.
back to back or something.
And then his famous blocking of that open goal, and he doesn't regret it till this day.
I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
did you see his game against Ghana, bro?
Yeah,
Fucking man of the match
to be
performance.
fair, he was crying on the bench last time in this past
When
World
when
Cup.
they
It was
unfortunately got eliminated.
karma's a bitch, but I mean,
It was
memorable
the
game.
Drama is, bro, because Ghana lost and Uruguay got eliminated.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
neither of them went through.
No, but
And-
Ghana was playing just to take Uruguay out because
yeah.
of Suarez.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
just playing for revenge there.
But I mean, listen, Suarez, you got to do what you got to do. He got his red card, but they hit the crossbar and they went through. So,
Dude, he's not. He's good. I like.
But
those
listen,
players.
he's just he's
Yeah.
so good. There's this one, I think it was against Bayern. He had a Champions League for Barcelona. The ball was coming towards him, and he just does he sticks one foot out, lets the ball flick up over his foot, and then he spun around and I think he ended up scoring that goal too. It's just gross, dude. But I think he looked better in a Liverpool jersey. I won't lie.
He did.
I think he
That
looked better in a
warrior
Liverpool
brand.
jersey.
I liked him at
A
Liverpool.
little bit. Ajax jersey, nah.
But yeah, guys, those are our Streets Won't Forget Serie A/International version. A couple of honorable mentions. Let us know who we forgot. I'm very interested to see. Serie A has so many memorable players. There's so many memorable players around the world. I'm sure you guys have your own list of these obscure players that we would know, but just didn't come to mind. Let us know down below. Drop a like, drop a follow. Gonna be trying to be a little bit more active, especially now that the World Cup is over.
Yeah. Trying to hop on the schedule again, make some more videos.
We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Got a lot of like IRL football stuff coming up. So keep an
a
eye
lot
out.
of collaborations with Rigo only Benz.
Keep an eye out for that.
I hope so.
Make sure I got his link in the other videos from our World Cup videos, but I'll drop it down below. Go check him out. We're gonna be making appearances there on as well. So if you want to see more of us and more of Only Bins, just stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff to come. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Till next week.